end of story. Anyone goes to America, you'll be braced straight away, and end of story. But unfortunately, your junior B footballers, or anyone that wants to say county final, or I would say first round of championship, but I wouldn't do this strapping for a challenge match, for a friendly. I just think it's a waste of time. I'd sooner spend the time rehabbing the guy rather than irritating it and setting yourself back again. But if it was a first round of championship, big championship game, one off, or as I say, county final or something like that. So there is that little bit of leniency I would allow for it as well. Okay, so can I get you, Oisin, just to come down another little bit, just as if you're going to perch on the table. Okay, so I want to make that kind of slight little flexion, okay, and we'll explain later on. Sometimes what I might do, if I didn't have the table there and you're just in it, I get them to stand, so, or say I get you off the middle of the table, now you can stand all the way up, and I get him to put his heel on the roll of tape. Just on the top so it's not going to squash the tape either. So same again, nice little flexion there as well. We'll cover the hairs, because they're really giving out. Can I just grab a scissors? I'm going to bring the scissors over to with this tape. We won't be able to.
The box,
yeah. Now, because we're going to be attaching to muscle, you have to use elastic tape. Now, depending on the size of the leg, I would either use a 5 centimetre or 7.5 centimetre. So, probably here I'm just going to use a 5 centimetre. It's probably just. But if you have a big rugby guy leg, huge quads, everything, I'll probably go 7.5 because you'll just be going through too much 5 centimetre tape. So, just a little bit on the skin, make sure the tape doesn't come off. Now, from here, you can stop, you can cut that. I just say, look, while I have the tape in my hand, I might as well just track it down and do an outlet. Now, here's the biggest thing people go wrong. You don't catch the joint line. You need to be able to get that joint line and be able to cross it. So, on there, get down into your joint line, wrap it around the calf again as your anchor, and then come back up and get that joint line again. Same again. So X marks the spot on your joint line. And back around. Okay. Next one we get is zinc oxide. Because it's a ligament, we have to reinforce with zinc oxide. So start from, I would say, top. We're going to bring it down now. As you go, here's the little trick of the trade. We actually cover the tape in like a little bit at the top. Why do you think I do that? Just a little fold in on the tape. You know, think of why do I fold it in? Yeah, it makes the tape. Another way you try and tear the tape, right? You can tear it that way, but as soon as you put a little bit of a kink on the tape like that, you try tearing that bit, not a hope. So imagine a guy gets a valgus stress, and at least the tape won't tear first. You know, it might just give that little bit of rigidity there. That's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. So, alright. So, then we're going to go top. Off the bottom. So what I like about what I'm after doing as well, I follow exactly where I'm going with the elastic tape. But if I didn't have elastic tape, wouldn't be the end of the world. Wouldn't be enough. I just need anchor and anchor. We do 3 then. And I kind of just overlapping. Always just making sure you get that joint line. So I've done 3 of them, say. Now I need to do what we call check reins. I'll just finish with this one actually. Just make sure. Especially just where a little joint line is. Okay, now we're going to do check reins. So check reins is basically to stop any hyperextension at the back. So what we do here is we measure just the back, okay, and then use this table so you can see. So basically I measure out just have a little bit off the table, and I'm going to put 5 check rings. So just go. Peel them off the table, nice and handy. Now, so here's where it's important, because we want to make sure that we go from anchor to anchor. So right at the back, anchor to anchor. Now, I would tell Usheen here is that we want to get him as much range as possible. So if Usheen can straighten out and he goes, oh, I'm getting pain there, because he's fully stretching that ligament at this stage, I would say, okay, let's back off out to there, just short of that pain, and then we'll attach and stick those check reins in to try and stop him, stopping him, trying to prevent him hyperextending the leg, not to overstretch that ligament. Okay, so we've done that, and then we can do, I don't think it makes a difference when you do this first or this one. I tend to always do that second. And then just to reinforce joint angle again, you just go simply down the center. Because you're trying to reduce a lot of forces going through that MCL that does need a lot of support. From there then, I have 2 options. I can use the horse tape and just cover that all in, or if I didn't have that, then I would just simply re-anchor it all. So just like at the start, just put one at the top, and then one at the bottom. And again, because you're going around the muscle, you have to make sure it's allowed to expand, so it has to be elastic. And then you might just put, just to stop that from peeling off, like this. There we go. Now if you want to just take off, you can, I've seen people just take off all this if you want, or just leave it on, doesn't matter, depending on what you want done. Okay, so that's just for pure cosmetic reasons. So that's your MCL. Unfortunately, the reality is you're sending a big beacon of light to a player to go, boom, boom, have a problem with my knee. You know, I've seen players getting both of them strapped, try and trick players to say which one is my bad one. You decide. The reality is, so as I said, I always say to players, how often do you see this in the Premiership? Never. Because they're not allowed to return until they're strong, and so hence why I would always say, look, we need to get you as strong as possible to take the pressure off that ligament, allow everything to be stable, and to have good glute strength and glute knee stability. But sometimes that's not always happens. You know, if you have a big county final, your main player, he is just that little bit of end range pain, you twist and turn, jump and land. We just need to reinforce it a little bit, but this is your option that you can use. But wouldn't be my first choice for a friendly or anything. I just wouldn't bother with that. Okay, so how do we test it then? So if I wanted to, we've tested the start, how would I retest it here now?